Alright, Buffy fans, in my last video, I talked about Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 4, Episode 17, Superstar. Today, I'm here to talk about Angel Season 1, Episodes 16 and 17, that is The Ring and Eternity. In The Ring, we have a Fight Club-esque scenario. Angel gets captured. It's very reminiscent of the latest The Mandalorian and Grogu movie, to be honest. And I really like the format of this episode. I like that Angel is the one we're trying to save instead of some random person off the street. We have Cordelia and Wesley teaming up to save Angel. There's a lot of good moments in this episode touching on like Angel's morality around killing. It's a sore spot for him. It's interesting too because we touch on it even more in the following episodes. But in this one, I'm just going to go through my notes like I normally do. I first wanted to make a statement on Wesley and Cordelia. So, as many of you who are following my journey know, Wesley has been my number one op. I was even threatening to DNF this show because of him. As soon as I saw that he was going to be a series regular, I was pissed off. I was so mad. And you all were like, wait and see, because Wesley is like a great character and we all love him. And I'm like, fine. Anyways, I'm an easy sell because a couple episodes later, I'm like, you know what? He's low-key growing on me. It's fine. I'm not gonna DNF the show over him. Also, I know that I'm growing fond of him because the bickering between Wesley and Cordelia used to annoy the absolute fuck out of me. And now they were bickering at the top of this episode, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of fond of them. Ew! Ew, what have I become? Anyways, I guess I'm an easy sell. This whole episode's great. Yeah, like, illegal monster fighting ring. We got some funny lines. Like, one of my favorites was, couldn't they have just done West Side Story, which was Cordelia talking about whoever in the alley? Funny. Funny as fuck to me. Calling Wesley Detective Yelslew, which I guess is just Wesley spelled backwards. I was like, nice one, you guys. Wesley had some, like, good moments of taking a leadership position, like, waving around that gun. That was crazy. I did not expect that. I was like, is this the first time we've seen Wesley wield arm himself that way? To my knowledge, it is. And the number one thing I wanted to highlight about this episode that I thought was really impressive was the amount of SFX makeup they have going in this episode with all the extras who are the monsters in the monster fighting ring. The amount of money and time that must have cost this production to pull that together and to pull it together well. And I have to say, like, I've talked about this before, but the SFX prosthetics and the monster, like, makeup on Buffy and Angel as the years go on just keeps getting better and better. And I love it because it's all practical. I like, for the most part, like, except for one or two, I think, on camera effects or whatever, everything is pretty much practical, which is awesome. It sometimes looks really silly, goofy, and it makes me laugh, but for the most part, it just feels more real, which I love. Call me old fashioned. I love that. So, I enjoyed this episode. Obviously, Cordelia and Wesley save Angel. It's all good to go. Okay, so episode 17, Eternity, was funny specifically to me because of all the, like, Los Angeles theater stuff at the beginning of the episode, which I don't know if that's relevant or funny to any of you guys, but I live in LA. I'm an actor. I've been to a million of these bad plays that friends are in. And, like, God bless them, you're there to support them, but, like, holy hell, is it bad sometimes. And you just have to be like, they ask you, how was it? What'd you think? And you're like, it was a play that I saw tonight and you were in it. And so the whole interaction between Wesley, Angel, and Cordelia at the top made me laugh extra hard. Many instances in this episode of Twilight reheating Angel's nachos. Yes, we have Angel saving Rebecca from the car, very reminiscent of Twilight. Later on in the episode, we have her figuring out he's a vampire and, like, not being afraid, and he's intrigued by it. I'm like, Edward Bella moment. Again, Twilight copied Angel. Stephanie Meyer cannot look me in the eyes and tell me she did not watch the show. There's just no, it's not possible. But I liked that, it makes sense to me that a show taking place in Los Angeles during this time would focus on, like, celebrity culture at some point. And so I liked the topic and the way they did this episode because it's very true that celebrities of this caliber are very fascinated by people who don't know their most famous project and don't care if they're famous. The thing that makes me sad about this episode is that Angel finally gets a little vulnerable with someone he likes and is very kind and gentle and protecting. And then she betrays him and tries to roofie him. And that triggers his Angelus. By the way, they're inconsistent with the pronunciation of that, because I can almost guarantee you they were pronouncing it Angelus on Buffy and now it's Angelus, and I feel like they've flipped back and forth between the pronunciation, but now it's like firmly Angelus, and it's confusing me. Anyways, whatever. My point being is she triggered his curse again because the drugs mimicked bliss in a synthetic way, but mimicked it enough to make him go cuckoo crazy, and he went cuckoo crazy horror movie all over them. And I was like, oh, this again. Periodically, they have to make David Boren's, or I think that's how you pronounce his name, get to like play around and be Angelus because he's really good at it. But I'm just like, there is a pattern of these shows in the Buffyverse having female characters cross lines of consent and take advantage of male characters on the show. Like, it's happened to Xander in Buffy. It's happened to Riley in Buffy. It's happened to Angel. I feel like more than once. But it's definitely happened to Angel in this episode. So, like, that's already 3 instances right off the bat. I feel like there's been more than that. And I'm like, it's enough where it's more than just a coincidence. It's like a pattern of writing. Not sure how I feel about it. I feel like maybe at the time they're like, oh, we're like subverting the like stereotype of like men taking advantage of women. And so like the man is going to be like the subject of, you know, abuse in this regard. And I'm just like, is that really doing what we think it's doing? I don't know. I don't know if we're executing that in a way that is unproblematic. But again, it was a long time ago. We're gonna move past it. I'm not gonna get stuck on it for too long, but it's just something I'm noticing. Some other random things from my notes. The line where they were like, a season and a half ago, and they say Los Angeles doesn't have seasons. Funny to people who live in LA, yes. Also, Wesley clocking Angel, being like, he likes her. He's afraid of getting close. Like, Wesley does understand Angel on a level that I think I didn't quite realize, and I like that. It adds depth to their dynamic. And Cordelia's giant cross necklace I thought was funny, way over the top. The thing about Cordelia in this episode that just really annoyed me, got on my last nerve, was like after a while her obsession with being famous and being around celebrity and like all that was really just starting to wear on me. Like, I'm tired of it. You're better than this, Cordelia. Let's move on, you know? And at the end, when Cordelia has Angel chained to the bed and they have a heart-to-heart and he apologizes, they make up, but she does leave him there, chained up to the bed, which honestly he deserves. And at the end he goes, guys, and then the episode ends. I love these buttons they put at the end of these episodes. It's in both Buffy and Angel, and I think it's funny. So, great episode. All right, lock in everybody, because the next video I drop is going to be about the highly anticipated episodes of Buffy season 4, which are 18, Where the Wild Things Are, and 19, New Moon Rising. When I tell you, it's either going to be like a 15-minute video or they're going to have to be separated into 2 separate videos. That is in fact how much I have to say, right? So get ready for that.